Now let's take you to Washington, D.C. Live look from the Senate chamber's floor, where lawmakers pulled another all-nighter trying to pass the GOP's big budget and border bill. So far, the votes stand 51 nay and 49 yay for the bill. Again, a live look as they continue that debate. Now, they've been working on amendments since 9 yesterday morning, hoping to pass this whole thing ahead of President Trump this Friday.
Now, the president took to social media overnight to advocate for this bill while upping his ante on his on-again, off-again social media feud with his once close ally Elon Musk.
Meanwhile, Minnesota lawmakers continue to voice their opposition. Just yesterday, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar warned of the impact of the bill's proposed cuts.
The largest unfunded mandate is on the backs of kids and veterans and seniors and people with disabilities. $64 billion over to the states.
Republicans can only afford to lose 3 Senate votes to pass the measure, and so far 2 GOP senators say they will vote no. Even if the measure does pass, this bill does go back to reconcile the differences between the Senate and the House versions.
But we know this bill facing some pushback even from Republicans here in Minnesota. Back in February, 14 GOP state lawmakers had sent a letter to Minnesota's House of Republicans. They were warning of the impact that potential Medicaid cuts would have on the 1.4 million people who live in their districts. Now, 1 in 5 Minnesotans rely on Medicaid. Democratic Senator Tina Smith says the state would be hit hard.
Homes are going to have a very, very hard time balancing the books. I suspect that there will be closures as a result of these Medicaid cuts, and then families that rely on SNAP food assistance are going to find it much, much more difficult to feed their families.
Funding cuts could also leave a nearly $1.5 billion hole in Minnesota's state budget. That would force state lawmakers into a special session once again to rework that budget.
But as we mentioned earlier, the big bill is not a done deal. Lawmakers continue to debate. CBS News' Naomi Ruckham is monitoring the votes.
Heather and AJ, good to be with you. About 20 minutes or so ago, one of the top Republicans was asked if he had any sense of when this period called the Voterama might wrap up. He simply replied, not yet. So despite hours and days of deliberations at this point, there are still no guarantees the bill will pass. The narrow Republican majority in the Senate is holding on for dear life at this hour. As one senator put it, the party is figuring out how to get to the end game. Democrats have vowed to delay a final vote as long as possible, forcing lawmakers to endure another long night in Washington.
No.
The marathon vote on amendments continued overnight as Senate Republicans raced to pass President Donald Trump's massive spending package.
This is Congress's job, and by God, we ought to do it.
The bill includes an extension of the president's 2017 tax cuts, his campaign promise of no tax on tips, a new tax on wind and solar projects that use materials from China, and increased border and defense spending. But lawmakers in both have come out against its steep cuts to Medicaid.
This bill is going to ruin people's lives.
Fiscal conservatives have balked at the latest Congressional Budget Office report that predicts the Senate's bill would add up to $3.3 trillion to the deficit over the next decade. On social media, President Trump pushed to get his one big beautiful bill across the finish line by his July 4th deadline, calling the legislation the greatest and most important of its kind in history.
Republicans need to stay tough and unified during the home stretch, and we are counting on them to get the job done.
Overnight, the president also reignited his feud with billionaire Elon Musk after Musk threatened on X that any lawmaker who votes for the massive bill, quote, will lose their primary next year if it's the last thing I do on this earth. President Trump fired back, suggesting his administration should take a good hard look at government subsidies for Musk's space, internet, and electric car companies, adding there's big money to be saved. Even if the bill passes the Senate, it still has to go back to the House for final approval. And House Speaker Mike Johnson has expressed optimism that the legislation will reach President Trump's desk. But he also cautioned the Senate to keep their version of the bill close to the package the House passed last month. Heather and AJ?
Lots of balls in the air there, Naomi. Thank you.